Alright, this video I'm gonna give a product review of the ProForce rebreakable board. Um, I used to have the Century Martial Arts rebreakable board, and I only bought one of those, and I used it for a while. And the problem with the board is it just got easier and easier to break because through time it wears down, you know. And it got to the point where it was so easy to break that I could just snap it in half just by just holding it and boom, just breaking it like that. So I ended up just getting rid of it because it was useless, you know. But I recently decided to give it another chance. But this time, instead of getting the Century one, I got the ProForce one. And there's 4 different levels. They go by different colors. I think they got like yellow, red, and blue, and then black. Black is the hardest one. So black is the hardest one that they offer. It's pretty much like breaking a real board. And I ended up getting it, even though that it wears down. You know, I still want to do it. Mainly, I wanted to get it for the kids because rather than just having them punch like focus mitts, I wanted them to challenge themselves to see if they could break this. And then when they could break it, it really, it could show that, hey, you know, they're getting stronger with their punches. It's not really necessary for adults because it's still so easy to break, but for kids, you know, it's a challenge for them to break it. And I wanted to mainly just give them that challenge, you know, to give them something to strive towards. And so I ended up investing in these, and what I decided to do is I ended up getting more than one. I ended up getting a total of 4 of them. At first I got 2 of them, so I ended up getting 2 of them, and then what I would do, I put them together and break 2 at once, you know. And I never did that before with these rebreakable boards, and I was able to break it. It wasn't too difficult. So then I figured, hey, you know, if I could break 2, why don't I just try to challenge myself to see if I could break even more than that. So then I ended up buying, I ended up ordering 2 more, okay? So then I got a total, now I got a total of 4 boards. And they're all the same, they're all the black boards. And basically what I do is I line them up to break them all at once. And at first, I broke the 2, no problem, and then I broke 3, okay? That was not easy. It was hard to break the 3, and you know, I really had to focus and to break it. So I was able to break 3, and then I eventually tried to do 4, and I just couldn't do it, you know. Tried to break it, I couldn't, and that was basically where my limit was at the moment, and I just accepted that. My fist did get hurt a little bit, and it took about 2 months to heal. Now it's finally healed, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it again or try to do it again, because the thing about it, when you're trying to break something, there's really no safety measures, because you're just trying to hit it as hard as you can, then your hand might break, you know. It's not like the bench press or the barbell squat where you got somebody spotting you and then keeping you safe. As soon as you try to punch as hard as you can, you could hurt yourself, and nobody could help you at that moment. You know, you just get hurt. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go for 4 again, but I know at least I was able to break 3. As far as the quality of the boards are concerned, it's a high. You know, I like it. It's high quality. It doesn't really wear down as easy so far. But what I did do is I numbered the boards. So this is number 3, and then I numbered the other ones. You know, number 2, number 3, number 2, number 3, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So the reason why I numbered number 1 is so then we know that we're breaking the same board. So I don't want to wear down the other 3 boards by mixing it all together. So when we break this, then we just keep breaking number 1, so that we know that number 2 is going to be stronger, because we haven't used number 2 as much as we used number 1. And number 3 and 4 are obviously going to be stronger, because we're not going to be using those as much as we're using number 1 and number 2. So mainly I'm just going to be breaking number 1 until this starts to wear down, and then we'll go to number 2. The problem with these boards is that it's not consistent. It's like I said, it starts wearing down, it starts getting easier to break. And then because it starts getting easier to break, then you're not really getting a quality, you're not really getting an accurate gauge of where your power is. Because is it really you getting stronger, or you getting more powerful with your techniques, or is it because the board is getting weaker? And that's the thing, because of its inconsistency, it's not really a good, accurate measurement. tool. You know, unlike the weights, you know, you got a 45-pound plate, that's staying 45 pounds, you know, that's not going to change, it's consistent. But, you know, if you're lifting weights and all of a sudden the weights, you know, it's not 45, it says 45, but then it's actually 35, then you're not necessarily getting stronger, the weight just changed on you, and now it's a misconception that you got stronger, but in actuality, there was no consistency in the equipment that you were using. So that's the problem with the boards, but that's just something that's just, it's going to be something that you're just going to have to accept. But really, this is the best for the children. You know, for me, it's the best for the children. For the adults, one board is not good enough. This is just too easy to break. It's like child's play to break this thing. You know what I mean? So let me just show you how it works. I mean, I normally don't break it like just holding it here, but I'll just break it like this. Okay, so I just broke it like that. And then you see it disconnects, and then all you gotta do is just reconnect it. Okay. Just reconnect it like that, and that's it. You know, and then now you could break it again. Now this is something that I do promote because you're not harming any trees, you're not killing anything that's living. This is designed to re-break. This is like a punching bag. This is like a bob dummy. It's like a wooden dummy where, you know, it's designed for this type of training. But you see, you know, some other places they'll use like real boards, and you know, it's just kind of like, to me, you're just, you know, you're not really showing compassion towards nature when you're just breaking things just because you want to show off. You know, I don't really agree I don't really agree to that. You know, it's almost like getting a bunch of pencils and you're just breaking the pencils and then throwing them in the garbage can when you could actually use the pencils for some good use and actually write with it. But if you got boards, rather than, you know, using the wood to make furniture or making a wooden dummy, now you're just making slabs of wood and just breaking the wood and just throwing it away. You know, I don't really agree to that. I'd much rather get something like this and just break it over and over again because it's designed for that. So for the adults, you would need more than one board. You know, I would recommend to challenge yourself, try to break 2 boards. You know, it's going to be easier if you break it with your palm, but if you break it with your fist, it's going to be harder. Other things that you could do to challenge yourself with one board is just breaking it, you know, from this distance. Breaking it from a 1-inch distance, okay? From here, boom, see if you can break it from there, okay? That's other ways you could challenge yourself if you just got one board. Just try to break it from a shorter distance. But once it becomes too easy, then I say get another board, see if you can break 2 boards, you know, 2 boards at the same time, okay? See if you can break 2 boards at the same time. Once you can break 2, go for 3. Once you can break 3, go for 4. Once you can break 4, go for 5. You know, just basically challenge yourself with the boards as if you're challenging yourself with the weights. You know, you're bench pressing 225. Okay, go for 235. All right, you did that, go for 245. Okay, you did that, go for 255. Just keep going higher and higher up till you can't do anymore. So that's what I liked when I came up with that idea to break multiple boards. That really got me excited because now it served to give me another challenge. You know, now that I can break 3, let me see if I can break 4 one day. But at the same time, you got to put your safety in consideration and not to overdo it, because, you know, it's really not worth it, you know, to really damage your hands. You just, you know, you got to do it right, basically. You got to train the proper way. But I do recommend the product as long as you know what you're using it for. I definitely recommend it for the kids because it's a great training tool to help them to gauge, to see where they're at with their techniques. And that's pretty much it. You know, this product is decent.